All right, folks, today we're going to be learning about how to stream to YouTube. You guys wrote in and requested. This has been something that many of you have maybe recently wondered. We've been talking a lot about Facebook and Twitter, Periscope on the show. Those were the newer destinations. We'd always streamed to YouTube since they announced YouTube Live. We'd partnered them with them in early days. We still even have a version of Wirecast just for YouTube called Wirecast Play. It's a bit older than the version that is out as right now as Wirecast 7, and it's locked just to YouTube. So you're not going to be able to stream to Facebook or any other destinations in that product. But for those who might need it, you might go around and search for Wirecast Play and see if that's a useful fit for you, if YouTube's really all you need to do. So today I'm going to show you on my desktop exactly how to stream to stream from Wirecast to YouTube. It's pretty straightforward, and there's two ways primarily to do it. So let's cover that. On my desktop, I have actually just Wirecast open, so I'm going to pull that up. And I'm not going to add any of the crazy stuff. I just have my camera here, so I can throw that in or off the screen as I need. And at the moment, in my live production area, it's just this sort of live broadcast area. So wherever we end up streaming, in this case YouTube, that's what's going to show up unless we take something else live there. So the first way to stream to YouTube is the simplest. You're going to go to your output settings up at the top here and select output settings. And then from the destination list, you're going to select YouTube, which should be right at the bottom because it's alphabetical. So YouTube, hit OK. If you've already been logged in or if you've saved, it should remember your username and password, and you should already be logged in. But in this case, you're going to want to authenticate if you haven't. And nicely, again, it's remembering that I'd already typed in my username and password for YouTube. So I'm good. I'm going to allow that. And then we're going to go to this page here. And that is where we will find my YouTube account. It's going to log in. You can see right here I've got my username as well as the event that I'm streaming to. Up here, let's start at the top. So this is just for your reference. You might call this my YouTube channel. It doesn't matter. This is again just a title for you. You can see it's changing the title on the left here, and this is what this destination is going to be saved as, or this stream is going to be saved as in your Wirecast project file. But nobody outside of you and whoever's viewing this file or using this file on your desktop will see this name. Okay, it's just handy when you don't call it my default or unnamed, or you just keep your a nice reference of how you've named it, particularly if you have more than one stream. Next is your destination. You don't need to mess with that. That's YouTube. If you change it, then everything would change. Then you've got your encoding dropdowns. These may be a little overwhelming for you at first, so just let's go through them quickly so you can understand what they are. These are the default sort of standard presets that we've worked with YouTube to just make available. So all of the standard settings that YouTube likes to use for different quality sizes and settings are available here. And there are different, basically the same list repeated like 3 to 4 times and with slight different variations. So let's start at the top. We have the Apple H.264. Now if you're on Windows or a PC, you might see what's called QuickSync or NVIDIA NVENC. So those are basically 3 different ways to call hardware, to basically use hardware encoding. You should only see these options if you have a QuickSync chip, or an Apple H.264 that's what it's called on Mac, or an NVENC chip. If you don't have those, they shouldn't pop up. I can't be 100% sure. I haven't tested that recently on different computers with different graphics cards, so I'll need to confirm that with our testers. So next you have, so that's the hardware encoding section, and you have different sizes, right? So you have 1440, which may be for like 360 streaming. You've got 1440 30 frames, again 60p for 360, 1080 at 60 frames a second. This is high bitrate stuff. You see 15,000, that's 15 megabits per second, which means we would recommend a minimum of twice that for your upload speed. You could probably get away with 2025, but to be really safe, you'd want a 30 up for that. 12,000, 9,000. You see high bitrate stuff. So don't do these unless you're on a serious internet connection on a serious machine that can handle this kind of content. Next, you've got the 1080, which is great. 6,000, that's a little more doable. 720 at 6,000. We drop down to 4,000 and so forth. So these are just the different sizes. And then you can see that, again, we repeat that with each different sort of version of the encoder. So next we drop to the X264 encoding. That is software-based encoding through the X264 codec or encoding engine, which is an open source, very good encoder that Wirecast can use. And it runs on the CPU. So it will use more resources on your computer, but generally you might get a slightly better encoder, a slightly smaller stream at the same or better quality. Here, this is sort of like fast and low resource. I like to use hardware encoding when I can because it's rare for anyone to notice a difference. But if you're really an artisan, super picky about your content, and you have the resources or the CPU to handle it, you might consider the X264 option instead. So it's fun to maybe play around and see if you notice a difference on the quality. And then we just go through, and these are recommended. So these are sort of YouTube standard recommended settings, right? So we've got the X264 at 12,000. Notice that, and this may be too far removed, but basically these bit rates are in Mbps. These are in kbps. All the difference here is that kbps is going to add 3 zeros at the end. It's the same, so 12,000 equals 12, right? You'll also notice that the same size, the 1440 at 60, 1440 at 60, this we've bumped up the bit rate because that's generally how you get that quality equivalence. So it's going to, again, use more bandwidth in order to produce the same quality. And in theory, these should be a roughly equivalent quality, and this one is just a little bit padded in the bit rate in order to allow, because the encoding isn't quite as smart as what the software encoding can do, and like I said, this could do the same quality at a lower bit rate. So you'll notice that differential right there. Okay, so moving down, we have this again the same settings with the recommended X264 CPU bit rates. Next, we have the minimums. So these are, if you're really trying to squeak by, this is obviously minimum recommended quality by YouTube. And again, you'll notice, the bit rate drops again. So this is lower. We start the 1440 at 12,000, right? Sorry, at 9,000. Next, we drop down and we've got the maximum. So this is when you might use software encoding for things like sports, or if you're really, really trying to get the most quality, these are going to be the highest bit rates. And we start those at 18 for the 1440 and drop down from there. So your 1080 at 60 actually is coming in about 6,000 again. But so keep that in mind as you look at all these encodings. That's sort of how to decipher this list. I know it looks a little intimidating at first, but when you start to look at it, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so we're going to select not 1440 for ours. I'm going to choose an Apple hardware encoding, and I'm going to choose the 720p 30. I'm going to keep it really straightforward. This is sort of a standard web quality, and I'm going to use the hardware encoding to do it, hopefully to keep my system CPU low, my Mac Mini, not the most powerful here. Machine. Next up, we're going to drop down to where are we going to stream. This is where a lot of the power of the YouTube API can come into play. You can see your default live stream channel, which is basically a default channel available at your YouTube page. It's basically your username. It's youtube.com/user/your username/live. And that's a place that people can always go to find your content live whenever you're streaming. So it's nice to be able to send people to that URL every time at the same time every week. If you, for example, want to schedule an event, then you can do that as well. And you can do that through the scheduling options. You can see any of the events that I have scheduled in the past that I haven't deleted or anything. All that stuff's here. So it's been a while since I've really, you can see it's been a while since I've done a lot of YouTube testing and things like that. But so a lot of these old events and tests are sticking around. I'm going to edit or change some of them. So let's say we take this, I don't know, my event title, and we're going to edit it. So I can edit that and update it just for like the latest. Let's make it 2017. Let's make it say 11:30 a.m. Let's change it to 12 p.m. and we're going to make it for June 1st. That sounds great. And we're going to change the title to Andrew's June 1st stream, right? And then you can enter the description, you can enter tags, so it's a way for, it uploads all that for search engine optimization, and there's even some nice examples there. You also choose the public or, unlisted and so forth. I'm going to leave this unlisted for now, and then choose your category, right? So I might choose something like education or science and technology, if I ever did the stream, depends on the topic, right? So we're gonna hit save, and that should update the event so that on YouTube, that could automatically update the name. And if I go back, you'll see that Andrew's June 1st stream is now scheduled for June 1st, 2017 at 12 p.m. And then we can choose whether or not we want to automatically start the event. This is handy. I like to use this because that way I don't have to go to my YouTube channel and preview it. I can just start streaming when that time begins, right? So it should just automatically roll it in and start it. You can also choose a backup server or backup stream if you want. That's just if you want to stream to more than one, maybe the same event twice. I've not tried that before, but if you notice, if you check the box, it changes the actual publishing destination to your YouTube, account. So that is a important. It changes to backup equals 1. So this might be something that you would do if you were sending more than one stream to that event, just in case one went down. You might have 2 encoders, or it doesn't make a lot of sense to do it off the same Wirecast machine, but if you had 2 Wirecast machines or 2 computers, you might send one to the primary and then check the second one and stream that to the backup. Now you've got 2 streams going, and if one system goes down for whatever reason, you've got your backup system that's streaming to the backup encoder, and that's a great way to have redundancy. It's one of the great things about YouTube. So that is pretty much it. Choose to stream to your default channel. Choose to stream to your, your event. Edit your event. You can add a new event by clicking the plus button. Same thing, schedule time, all that good stuff. Or you can delete old events. Like if I'm not using camera 2 anymore, I'd probably just delete that, right? So I can walk through, and Wirecast easily allows you to see your events, edit your events, and publish or create new ones. In this case, let's just pretend I'm streaming to the default channel. You also have this little refresh button here, so if for whatever reason you feel like this is not up to date or something's not happening, you can hit the refresh button. Wirecast will go to YouTube and pull back down the latest information on your events and so forth, and it takes a moment, but there we go. So in this case, I'm just going to stream to my default live channel, which is, my username and everything. Hit OK. And I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to save that to my desktop. YouTube. OK. And we can start streaming. Now, if we want to record as well, we can. I haven't set up a record output for this, but I certainly could. The live broadcast area is right there. You can see. And I'm streaming not very much because there's really not a lot going on. It's just a still image. But I'm streaming currently about 300 kilobits per second, and it's streaming out. So nothing's really going on. Let's go head over to our YouTube account, and you can see, again, if you head over to your Creator Studio, which is up in the corner there, again, just click on the sort of your image there, and you can click this button, Creator Studio. That will take you over to all of your videos and events. And you can also go to sort of view your channel, or hit your live streaming section over on the left. Again, click live streaming, and the live streaming breaks into 2 categories: the stream now and the events. The stream now is your default live channel. That is the right now, where are you streaming? Are you streaming live? And look what's right behind me, the live broadcast area. And if I was to tap back to Wirecast and say take my shot live here, let's take that live. You'll see my bitrate should jump up now. And we will jump back to YouTube, and we'll sort of count here, but this should update. And there it is. Boom. We're live on my personal page on the stream now. Now, there's no audio associated with that. It's just my video shot here. But that is it. It also gives you an update of the content and how that's doing, and people can do that. You can also, of course, change the title. You can change, the description, all of that, and publish that if you want. Now, there is another way to stream. There's all these share tools. This is all the good stuff that YouTube provides. You've even got the live chat. If people were chatting, you could see all that. And this is sort of your back end view of the Live Now channel. And this is available for whether it's an event or your live channel. But if you were to, there's some slight differences. For example, live chat's not really, to my knowledge, available on events. It's just on this live channel mode. So, there will be some differences. The other thing you'll notice here is that YouTube's really good if you want to stream to the destination, and then you'll have a unique stream key. And I'm not going to reveal this one because this is a live demo, but if you reveal it and you copy and paste this into Wirecast, you can stream to Wirecast without using your API, without having to log in or anything. And that's what I'm going to show you. When I first started this tutorial, I mentioned there's 2 ways to stream to YouTube. One is through Wirecast as an API integration, which is what I just showed you. You go to Wirecast, output settings, you log into YouTube, you select your event, you start streaming. It's all that, right? The second way is to configure YouTube as a generic RTMP destination in Wirecast. So I'm going to show you that in just a second. Before I do, I want to show you the events category here. So this is anything that you've scheduled ahead of time. If I chose to create an event that was, the one that's upcoming, like our June 1st one, it should be here. There it is, the June 1st one. So this is a list of all the events that haven't happened yet. And the reason YouTube kind of knows they haven't happened is I never streamed anything to them, right? So, and I haven't streamed anything to these individually. So in Wirecast, you select which event you want to stream and you start the stream, and that's what triggers YouTube to know that that event has happened, or that at least it tried to happen. None of these have I streamed to, so they're sort of still on here, and I can delete them or remove them as I want. But what's cool is that everything you were doing in Wirecast to edit your events, you can do here too. You can edit them, you can go to the control room, right? And you can change information about this. You'll see the stream health, you'll see all kinds of stuff. So there's basically a lot of things that you can do here to change the event. You'll also find that if you're going to click on the event, you can get the same information about the event. You can copy and paste stuff for that. So let's head back real quick to the, I'm going to scroll back here to my events page. And I click on the edit. And a lot of the stuff I can change here, right? And whether, it's 360, whether I've enabled captions, all that good stuff. I can also change, say, like that's info and settings. I can change ingestion settings. And there's even information on how to stream to the event. So let's take this as our example and say we wanted to go early to this live event. And so, and we wanted to, rather than stream to it as through the API, through logging in, we want to stream to it as just a generic RTMP server. All of that information is provided here. So we're going to jump back into Wirecast. I'm going to stop my stream. And it's going to ask me if I want to complete the event or don't complete. Let's say we complete my live stream, right? By default, streams to your default channel will be called My Live Stream. All right, so that's fine. We're going to just take me off the screen here twice, so I'm not all in there. Now I'm going to show you the second way to stream to YouTube. We're going to go again to our output settings. We're going to remove the YouTube destination, and we're just going to start over from scratch. In this case, I will not select YouTube. I'm going to keep it on RTMP server. This is just creating it as if, in this case, there's no integration, there's no login, there's no password. We're just going to stream directly to YouTube. The thing that gives the sort of the secret sauce, the secret code, is the one that you pull from YouTube and you paste into the stream field. This is your stream key. which essentially is kind of your password for streaming to the correct location on the YouTube servers. So we need to do basically, again, select our sort of our encoding setting. I'm going to leave it at we could stay on the hardware encoding. I'm going to use Apple H.264. I'm actually not sure if that makes a difference on this machine. It doesn't seem too much. But we're going to we need to point our address at YouTube. We can jump back to our browser, and YouTube, fortunately, gives us that information on the event information page. So you're going to want to, again, go to your Creator Studio. I'm just going to show you how I got to this page. Go to Creator Studio. Go to your live streaming. Click on your events. Choose the event that you want and choose ingestion settings or edit. You can get there either way, but you start with just ingestion settings. That'll jump you to this location. You've got the name of the server, primary, and the backup. So it's, again, you could do this on 2 machines or send 2 different streams just for redundancy. We're going to copy that, and I'm going to go back to Wirecast, and I'm going to paste it right here. Okay, so that's our first address. The next we're going to do is we're going to jump back here. We're going to choose this guy, copy it, and jump back and paste it. So that's it. We are now ready to stream to the correct event on YouTube. Again, if I want, I could change this. I could call this YouTube June event, right? We're going early. We're not gonna wait for June 1st. Hit OK. Hit stream. If we did this right, oh, looks like I did something wrong. Maybe I need to go back here. Let's go to output settings. Maybe I need to select a keyframe let's check the settings here. View details. So maybe what I want to use instead is the YouTube encoding setting. I don't know if that'll make a difference, but let's find out. So we go to YouTube 720 P30. Actually, that is important. We need to make sure that we do custom ingestion. Let's do select encoder, Flash Media Live encoder. Let's do that. I guess we can download the FMLE if we wanted. I can choose this guy. Copy, paste, custom ingestion. Let's choose from custom ingestion. We're going to change this to 720. I'm not entirely sure why there's all this extra information there, but let's choose a 720p stream. Let's just, again, make sure that I've got the correct name here. I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to choose YouTube 720, and I'm going to duplicate the save as my YouTube. So what I'm doing right now is I'm basically just copying my YouTube preset for 720 and naming it my custom YouTube 720 and making a new preset that I can pull from. Hit save, go here, and let's just copy this in one more time. Maybe it looks like that was the wrong address anyway. So we've changed that address, the stream name. It looks like we're okay there. I think I'm still okay to go with my default, but in case, we'll come back and test that. All right, so here we go. We have pasted that in. If we hit stream, it should just stream to YouTube, and there it goes through. So we're good. We can jump back if I put and just check the stream health. So here's Andrew's June 1st stream. All I did was I copied this in. I did set this to 720. I haven't tested if that makes a huge difference, but under the custom ingestion, it's probably you could try basic ingestion. You could select, that might be even easier for you. Choose 720, and it gives like a range. And then from your encoder, you just copy and paste the information. Let's head back to the control room. I'm not going to save those changes. I'm going to go back to my event here, Andrews, and see the live control room. And you can see that, oh, they're not currently receiving data. So I think what I did was I shouldn't have changed that. So if you're having trouble with that, stop the stream, head back, go to your output settings. You can see it's a little more annoying to do it this way. And we'll probably have to go back to the edit settings, ingestion settings. We'll probably have to go choose basic ingestion, and we'll need to save the changes. Event successfully saved. And you'll notice the stream name just keeps changing. That's what's going on there. YouTube just kind of, every time you make a change, it seems to generate a brand new code. So come in, hit that, hit OK. I'm saved, I'm good. I'm going to go back to Wirecast. I'm going to hit stream. We're connecting. It's not saying it can't connect. Head back to YouTube, and we should be able to see in the control room if we're getting data. And we are, because it's happy. It's checking the stream status. We're good to go, right? So that's what's going on. If for whatever reason you're seeing like not receiving data from the encoder, it's probably because you might have changed a setting of some kind. It looks like the basic ingestion settings are more than fine. You don't need to use custom ingestion settings. So don't worry on the YouTube side of things. So just when you configure your live event, you can do that in Wirecast, set it up that way. But if you go to the YouTube settings and you change anything, it's going to generate a new stream key. So you'll need to copy and paste the newest and latest stream key after you've saved your changes in YouTube. So I made it a little more complicated because I'm kind of doing this on the fly. That's what happens when you start messing around. And I haven't done this in a while, so it's a bit fun to relearn this with you guys. Sorry if it was longer than it needed to be. All right, so we're going to head to, I'm actually going to take my camera live here. We'll see how that looks. I'm going to check the preview. This is a good way to, if you're streaming, it doesn't go automatically live. There's no checkbox to say just go live automatically. You are going to need to do this stuff on the YouTube side. So basically what I just said was start preview. And then when the stream says we're okay, the preview's working, you can even watch the preview here. By default, you get this sort of generic, boring gray background, but there it is. I'm seeing my camera. If I wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So it looks like at least 30 seconds of latency or so. There it goes. That's about standard for YouTube because they're generating a lot of on-the-fly packets and things like that. So you will get a little more latency, but that's part of the benefit. Part of the drawback of doing a free stream. They provide that for you on any device, any player. You can see what they look like. And when you're ready to start streaming, the next thing you do is you hit start streaming. And it'll ask you if you really want to go early, because technically we're scheduled for June 1st on this guy. We'll go live, hit OK, and you can actually go watch it on the view page and see what your audience sees. Right? So there it is. That is streaming live to YouTube. One of the cool things about streaming this way through the generic RTMP stream is that you can go to your output settings, and if you want to add other destinations, I don't know why it's saying June event here. Cancel. Let's go to my output settings. Oh yeah, because it's YouTube June event. I gotcha. I named it that. All right, so here we go. You can add other destinations, right? So if you wanted to go to Periscope or Facebook or something like that, it's easy because you're streaming to at least one destination. It's just a generic output. You, of course, will need more bandwidth and so forth, but that's the way to do it if you're curious. And hopefully that was helpful. And we'll be doing more on YouTube. There's a lot more that you can do on that platform, and a lot to learn in terms of what you can do after an event. You can post show cards. You can post links to your next episode. YouTube's really cool that way. And so there's a lot to learn, and hope this was helpful for you guys. I will be back next week with our special guest and another learning session. I'm not sure if, I think the learning session for that show might actually just be Adobe Character Animator, because nobody's going to give a better demo on that than Dave, and we might just give him the full time to not only interview him, but then go into a learning session on it. So thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I will see you next week. This is